Hello, everyone, and welcome to Fabric Tech Talk Fridays. I'm your host, Patrick LeBlanc, and I'm here with Prathy. Prathy, before we get started, why don't you tell the people who you are and what you do?
Hi everyone, I'm Prathy Kamasani. I call myself a solopreneur. I have a company called Data Nova and I specialize in Power BI and Fabric. So basically the BI side in Microsoft Fabric.
All right, so Prathy, what are we talking about today?
So I have this framework
Okay.
I use with most of my clients
Yep.
when I'm working with Microsoft Fabric,
Yep.
and I call it D4A. What do you think it stands for?
If I had to guess,
Yeah.
right? Data for analytics.
See, I upgraded. We call it, it's actually data for AI. And I used AI to come up with
Okay.
that.
Okay.
So the pattern I'm talking about here is it's nothing new. It's
Okay.
been there forever. See, like you and I, we've been in this BI world for a very long time.
Yeah, a long time. Long
Yeah.
time.
So what I'm talking about here is a framework to capture the logging and auditing of your solution.
Of my solution,
Yeah.
so I can know everything that's happening, when it happens, how long it takes to happen, things like that.
Exactly,
Okay.
exactly.
Okay.
And we've done this before. Like, during our MSBI days, SSIS, we
Absolutely.
did, we used BIMO.
Yep.
In the data platform, we used Excel, store procedures, Python, and all those things. But we
Yeah.
are in Fabric now.
We're in Fabric.
So how can we do that? And how can we make it like a more self-contained?
And you're gonna
Yeah.
show us today.
Yes.
Are you gonna make this available so we can go try this out on
Yes, it's available on the GitHub, so you could
Oh.
go and check it out.
You can give us a link?
Yes, it's
All
going to
right.
be there.
I'm
I'm
in
going to
for it.
show you
All
all of
right,
it.
let's take a look.
So let's break it down actually before we actually see the framework.
Okay.
So like, we have so many architectures. We know medallion architecture. We've seen it. It's
Yep.
very popular.
Yep.
But even before the medallion architecture, we had see this was our
Yes.
bread and butter.
Yes. Yes.
But I like to call it raw, refined, curated
Okay.
because that's what I do. I prefer. And depending upon various clients I work with, there are different layers and things we add to that.
Yep.
But no matter where we are, what we're doing, it's data is basically going from one direction to the other
That's
direction.
right.
And one of the problem that I see with almost all the organizations I work with, I mean, again, like, this kind of metadata that I'm talking about, it is there in Microsoft Fabric,
Yep.
but it's at platform level.
Yes.
You don't, and not everyone have access to that platform level data. And most of the times you work with a project.
Yep.
And you care about that particular project. You don't want to know everything that's happening on.
No.
And you just want to know, okay, this is my project, this is my solution, that's what I wanted
Yeah.
to work with.
Yeah.
So how we are going to do that one is the important piece. So I'm going to talk about the architecture and then I'm going to give a sneak peek about how it works.
Okay.
Okay. So we start with Microsoft Fabric. Just imagine this is your Microsoft Fabric.
Okay.
And you start with a workspace.
Okay.
And you start with, usually every project, we start with a data source connection. And that's what we begin here. And then you have your layers.
Yes.
And within the layer, you probably you inject data, and then you basically have probably pipelines to orchestrate it.
Right.
And it's kind of, you replicate that
Across the
same thing
different
across the
yeah.
things.
Yep.
And maybe in your curator, you have your semantic models and you have your pipelines to be able to say. So this is the important thing. At every single stage of that, you need to monitor your information. Otherwise, you're going to lose this one. So for that, what this framework does is we are actually adding one extra layer among those things. And this framework that I'm going to show you is basically we are using notebooks, but you could use with other components as well. But in here we are using. And what it does is when we use this framework, it automatically creates those all elements in it. So so this is the framework. It's as simple as it. It's like you have a notebook.
Yep.
It has a lot of functions in it. You can copy it into your resource folder in your workspace.
Yeah.
And then you literally, you import the library, you start the logger, and that is the log operation piece. That's the small piece of code that you run.
That's it.
And it captures a lot of information. So it automatically, when you start the logger, it creates all the information. It creates the semantic model for you. It creates the measures for you. And then you can log by using the basic information. So in this case, I actually gave some sample data,
Yeah.
but you could parameterize it and you could use that one in every single notebook.
So these are just functions that I'm calling.
Yeah.
from that library that you've created,
Yes.
and then I pass it these inputs and say, okay, for this table, I want to log this information and do this.
Yeah. And you know what? It's not only, I mean, that's the basic logging, but you could extend it. So
verbose.
exactly.
Yeah.
So, and also like, for example, I mean, this is the issues that we actually see in our everyday day-to-day projects. It's like sometimes you want to capture metadata only when your pipeline is taking longer than 10 minutes.
So if I want to debug or do some performance tuning or something like that, so I can turn on some extended logging.
Yeah. And it's also like there is no need of logging all the times.
Yeah.
It's like when there is a problem, that's when you want to log.
Got it.
And then you have all this. Oh, so by the way, this is where the library is, and that's where the link is. We'll probably share that one later.
We need to share this link. We need to share this link. Yeah.
But what you get out of this is you can create or report something like this.
Yeah.
And what it gives you is like the important information about how long your solution is taking, how many error rows are there, how many actual rows has been there, and why certain thing is taking long, or like why if you go and in this case you see one certain application, certain run took longer, so you could drill down and understand, and you're not depending on some admin to give you access. You don't have to somebody to go and create the report for you. It is your solution. You're creating your metadata, your logging framework, and it's a framework, which means the same framework you could use for another solution.
Wow. And all the data is persisted in the lakehouse?
Yes. Yeah. And there are, within the framework as well, there is some extra functions. So if you want to remove the data after 90 days and things like that, you could do that.
Retention periods on data.
Exactly.
Got it.
So it's a self-contained, and this is a problem that I see with many solutions.
Because it gives me insight into my entire process, my entire medallion architecture logging process. I mean, the ETL process. And so now I can identify the slower points, the faster points, and decide where I need to go optimize.
That's it. That's what I have to show.
All right. Well, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Take your time to come hang out with us. And thank you all for watching. If you have any questions, comments, you know what to do. Post it in the comments below. If this is your first time here, be sure to hit that subscribe button. And as always, from Prathy and myself, thanks for watching. And we'll see you next Friday.
Thank you.
All right.
Thank you everyone for watching. If you found this video valuable, don't forget to hit that like button.
If this is your first time visiting the Microsoft Fabric YouTube channel, be sure to smash that subscribe button.
Drop a comment below on what you would like to see on the future episodes of Fabric Tech Talk Fridays.
That's it for today. See you all next Friday for another deep dive in the Microsoft Fabric.